The Watchers. It was getting dark fast. I needed to get home soon, otherwise I would be stuck traveling the back roads by the light of a quarter moon. I quickened my pace in an effort to make it in time. I wasn't going fast enough. The little light I had left was now nearly gone as I turned the corner, going right into the subdivision where I live. The sun left the sky completely and handed its shift over to the moon. Now I was forced to slow down. I could see almost nothing. I needed to let my eyes adjust to the darkness. I was scared already, but what I knew about 30 feet from me was start to a nightmare I could have never, ever imagined. Standing in the middle of the road was what I looked to be a man, staring straightly at the ground. Once he got closer, I discovered the man had almost nothing in common with me. He wasn't wearing clothes, but that wasn't the strange part. It appeared he was made of sticks, not sloppily with 3 or 4 sticks, but looked to be thousands upon thousands of sticks carefully placed with no gaps between them. I was still about 10 feet away from him, but when he revealed his final deformity, he slowly lifted his head to show his featureless face. The only human-like feature was the 2 oval-shaped indents where the eyes should be. Him began in the middle of the road home forced me to walk right past him. I wasn't any more scared than I had to be before, just curious. I continued to walk towards him, his only sign of interest being that the head would follow me. Even though he had no eyes, it appeared he was still capable of sight. It's time to pass him. I kept an eye on him to see what he would do if I briskly strode past him. Fortunately, he didn't take one step. He just shifted his body towards me and kept watch, and I slightly kept walking with relief and kept going. I looked forward again and stopped dead in my tracks. There was more of them. This time there were 3 or 4 of them standing driveway right on my right. A little girl, a man, and a woman. I could tell they were not men because they were wearing dresses, but being made of sticks they did not flow. The dresses were rigid, remaining me of the woman that symbolized a woman's restroom. I kept walking towards them, my eyes locked with the man's as he and his family watched me pass. Once I had gone past them, I looked forward. They were everywhere in driveways, standing in the road. I was walking upon the street. Some of them ignored me, but some of them took an interest and watched me walk. I chose one in particular to look at me. It was a girl no larger than 3 feet tall. Skipping towards me, I stopped and watched as she skipped right past me and disappeared into the night. I breathed sigh in relief as I confirmed they were not in fact hostile. With a newfound confidence, I bravely strode down the road, ignoring them. Finally arrived at my house and I strode down the driveway. I noticed that there was one stick man standing directly in front of my front door. As I approached him, I see that it was one different in way she disturbed me and intrigued me. He had a mouth and a lump on either side of his head that looked to be a crude ear. Now I was face to face with him and he wasn't moving. I started to push him aside with his arms shot out and said, blocking my path. In a moment of frustration, I yelled, "What do you want from me?" Strangely enough, he replied in a raspy voice that sounded like it had only been used once before. He said, "Nothing. Just to watch. To wait." I gasped and stepped back. He continued, "But now it's time for another watcher to join us. We are here to escort her." He turned around, opened my door, and walked in. Cautiously, I followed him. The walker walked through my unit house like he lived there. As he silently descended the stairs to my daughter's room, I began to become worried. The door at the bottom of the stairs opened with a loud, long creak. As he walked towards it, trailing behind him, I stood in the doorframe as I watched him pick up my 7-year-old daughter, Jessie, from the bed. What do you want from her?" I stuttered out. It is her time," was the only reply I got. As he walked towards me, Jessie in his arms, I saw a change in her. She was no longer completely human. I could see that she was turning into one frame. Her nose and eyes were slowly becoming lumps on her face. Maybe it was because of fear. Maybe I knew I couldn't stop him, but for whatever reason, I let the watchers walk right out of my house with her. I stood there, afraid and confused as the monster purposely walked out of my house with my daughter. I decided to follow him. He was already out sight, so I sped down the stairs and into the driveway. Once my eyes adjusted, I could see that there was 2 lines of watchers on either side of my door, leading all the way into the forest on the opposite side of the road. There being only one way to go, I walked down the funnel the watchers had created and slowly caught my daughter's taker. As we reached the forest, realized it was too dense to continue after them. Right as I was about to disappear in the woods, I quietly said, "Why her?"